Thank you so much for watching our show over here. Today we have Dario, who's joined us from Rome, Italy. And today we intend to discuss a bit about the COVID situation, how to deal with the pandemic, a first-hand account of how Italy has been handling it. And he will give us some insight on being a lawyer. Now, Prachi over here, as you all know, is my sister and also an entrepreneur. She's an advocate practicing out of Supreme Court. So over to you, Prachi.
He also is a tax law consultant and has a private owned studio for that. Basically, now he is with his company called Azad Elixirs, which is into natural liquid extracts. And today, Dario will discuss with us about how Corona has affected the economy and what are the struggles.
Okay, first of all, thank you for having me here. Very welcome. So every country is peculiar, but many things I think we have in common. COVID hit the economy very, very hard. Okay, and we have a lockdown as you did, and most of the people, live out day by day. They can earn what is enough to reach the end of the month. So being completely locked down for 2 months was a severe situation. Now, how my country answered it, what was the response? I don't know if it's similar to yours, but I think it could be better. What they did is they are putting money in the system, okay? And that gave a lot of work to me, that I'm a lawyer, like to you, because to access to that money, you have to comply, to fill forms, to show that you are entitled to have this money. And what I'm afraid that this among the other solution will cause problem is that when the state put money in the economy, normally it does to help deflation. When there are not enough money to exchange goods, it determines deflation in the economy, so the state has to print more money. Let's say when there is inflation, the state take away money with taxation. The COVID and the lockdown made a new situation. The money still exists in the economy. There are enough money to change the goods that are in the economy. Okay, that is the monetary goal of the state. If to answer to this situation where the money there are, now they are putting money in the economy, I fear we are going to an inflation situation when the lockdown is over, when people can use the new money that flew in, plus the one they had stored in their bank account or in their pocket. And that is one of the first reaction that the state did. I don't know how in India the state coped with the first emergency. I mean, people not having enough money to live. That was the main action of the government, to give money to the enterprise and to give money to the workforce, to pay part of the payroll, 80%, let's say, they gave to the employee.
So Dario, I have a question there. So was it that they paid the private sector companies to be able to pay their employees, like some 80%, like you said? Because in India, they have they've come up with a package where they have been paying, employment-related bonuses to people who are from the poorest of the, the most downtrodden areas of India. So there is a lot of money that has been influxed into the economy, but primarily into the agriculture sector and the likes.
In Italy, the people that are beneficiary of this money impulse are the ones that didn't work, because not everything was closed. If somebody didn't work, is entitled to have money. Okay, but all the sectors, there are differences. I mean, small business have a faster route. In fact, those money for a factory employee with less than 5 employees already received the money, most of them. One with more employee In fact, the people are at home without money because most of them didn't receive nothing from the state, not because the money there aren't, but because some shortcut in the bureaucracy made it more difficult. They had many problems. You know, all the database was visible. The first time you have to do click days to access to the money. Something that they are doing is not fair. I mean, in some situation, there are a platform of money you can receive, but they don't give the money according to the demand. They give the money to the first that asked for them, and that is not fair. And we already saw that people, you know, stole that money because all for some of that benefits in 0.4 milliseconds, all the money was taken when was not allowed to fill the form before a given time. So clearly somebody hacked the system and stole the money. But it's not, it's because it's the first time they're doing something so huge. And like for entrepreneur, there are loopholes to profit in legit way to the situation. Also for the, let's say, criminal, there are ways to steal money or take more than is their due.
Right. Dario, can you tell us a little bit about how is it now? Has the situation become better? Has it plateaued in Italy? And how have people started to recover?
The sector that is most badly affected is the tourism. Italy lives on tourism, you know, and tourism is one of the voices that do the internal revenue. I don't remember in English how to tell, but anyhow, are money that come from outside, because the state economy three ways to make money: export, so money that are in another country entering the economy, investment from foreign country, and people that earn money in other country go and spend it in the city, in the state. So tourism was hit bad, and with it all Italy, because the money that we exchange inside the country doesn't make grow the economy. It's just at zero sum. It's the economy is always the same, and that didn't recover because people don't move, also if they're allowed, because still you can now move. The fact that is from 4 May that you can most freely move within a region or now in all Italy, still there are restrictions. You have to wear a face mask, you know, and many people don't feel when you go out to spend money to enjoy your time, to have a face mask is already a barrier to feel free to go out and enjoy your time. So it's not recovering very well. Why? There are sectors that are booming. Okay, by instance, I can tell my experience. I produce e-liquids for electronic cigarette. I know it's banned in India, but still, the data shows that 75% of people that smoke, that inhale nicotine, 75% less than expected are taking COVID. The one that take COVID and take nicotine and smoke are 53% more prone to have severe COVID, but 75% do not have it. Okay, so to my industry, they're asking me to extract the nicotine, because in France they are already making experimentation. See, because when you smoke, there is also combustion, so it's bad for your lung, because there are a lot of chemicals. When you take with the chewing gum a band, or like vaping, that is 95% safer, it's a win-win situation. If it can work against COVID, it's not a given, but people are experimenting and growing on it. And still, to give my personal example, I was doing other things in my factory, but in February, when I saw the situation was maybe coming, I didn't, I get scared, but I also thought what was the opportunity. And my opportunity, since I have a machine, the ingredients, let's say most of the ingredients. I did the gel for the hands, okay? So many other entrepreneur that was looking the moment of trouble, an opportunity to grow. They converted, we are strong in dress. Many started to do face masks. Bad time that people can build fortunes. So the outlook I think everybody should have on it is to find the good in the bad and try to maximize the opportunity that a new situation creates.
Do you think there is an increase of businesses going into insolvency and bankruptcy filing in Italy, especially the small ones that might not be getting?
Mostly the big ones.
Mostly the big ones.
Yes. Well, I don't know. Many enterprises will go bankrupt. Many big ones already did. You know, like aboard Cirque du Soleil closed. 3,500 employees lost their work. So in Italy, a shoe company franchise that have many stores selling shoes went in bankruptcy. Many little, the problem is solvable. Many little enterprises also will go bankrupt. The problem is, in my humble opinion, that the states had a big opportunity. We spoke about deflection inflation, the fact that the money there are and the state decided to put more money in the system, with the problem that tomorrow we will have, I think, inflation. One way in this situation was to do not make people, enterprise, and persons pay taxes. You know, the state do not need your money to do things. The state's its goal is to put enough money to allow people to exchange the goods that are boosting the economy. Normally, the economy grows, the state have to put more money in the system. So if this year there are 3 shoes more than last year, we have enough money to exchange those goods. If there are less money, you know, the shoes will cost more. If there are too much money, the shoe will cost less. So the goal of the state is to put enough money. The tax is to take away the extra money they put inside for mistake and creating inflation. So if they don't make pay taxes, they will help many enterprises not to go, you know, bell up. But they are not doing because it's more complex than the simplification I did. There are many interests. During wartime, the state normally give, you know, another way. What was another way, in my opinion, to print not more money, that to print a special money. Like during war, you have a paper to buy food. Okay, they can put a new money and temporary money that in 2 months expires. So when the crisis is finished, there is not a fraction. There is not too much money in the system. But during the crisis, you don't make people pay tax. You give money that in that time they can exchange, like in wartime. There are many creative solutions. Not all are doable because it's complex. They have to work fast and they have to compromise with institutions like central banks that have other interests. But in Europe, the recovery fund, they will put money in the states like a bond, but without you know, guarantee. It's enough that the EU states will spend those money in the wealth system. You know, it's like giving money for nothing, just to say the state will say, I spent for things in the hospitals, so they can use the extra money to do the cars industry. So it's loan without attachment, and it's huge. It would be 1.5 billion of euro cash. And the other way is the MES, they will buy bond. It's like another way to lend money to the country. So they're doing a lot of monetary policy. Is not enough because the USA was very stronger in the response from the money policy. How did in India?
In India, I think they are influxing. Prachi knows quite a bit about it because she's been an avid reader and following it up. Prachi, would you want to add?
So in India, we have a package, but what has happened lately is That package is basically for the small and medium enterprises, but the upper limit for the companies that actually qualify for that has increased. So when there it was, say, a pool of 20 lakh companies that would get an X amount of money, suddenly that amount is being distributed to 50 lakh companies. So the amount that is being received is very little. However, now there's going to be an influx into the agriculture sector and to the people who are at the bottom, at the grassroots. So that might actually help build up the economy from, from the extreme bottom, where there will be more money flowing back into the economy to help everyone.
Yes, what the state did in Italy about enterprise, they gave money to all employees that didn't work, but for enterprise, they checked with the income they had in March, let's say. If it was at least 1/3 less than the previous year, they was entitled to have 10% of the loss. 20, 15, 20. If your income was 40,500 euro, you can take 20% of the loss. The more you earn, less you can take back of your loss, down to 10%. So they are not covering all the loss, let's say.
I was going to ask Dario more about how do you see Italy recovering from it slowly, the economy, in terms of the internal economy, not the tourism, but just how, in terms of say, the smaller enterprises, how are they going to get back on their feet?
In general, I foresee a bunch. Every time there is such a big law, like in a war situation, that the bunch is high. That doesn't mean everybody will join the bunch. There will be just the few that are fast to, put themselves in the situation to benefit from the recovery. Now, how long it will take? And now we have not enough data to decide. Today, still they are deciding how the school system will start again in September. They say there will be a turnation in how the kids will attend school. That will put at home many workforce, because if they are not at school, some of the parents have to care for the kids. Really, we have to wait until the beginning of September to see how it will evolve. Because now, yes, in Italy, people are moving. Strange, because the forecast of the wealth ed system told that today, if there was an ease in the lockdown, we should have 115,000 people more affected by COVID. But in fact, it seems that is going for the better. Less people get COVID, less people get it in severe way. I don't know. I see at least 2 years that we are in trouble.
As you're also a tax lawyer, is that affecting work?
Well, now since there was the COVID crisis, the tax department didn't send any advice for unpaid tax. So for what I have to do, they didn't ask money. People, the states told the enterprise, you have not to work. There was an uprise if they was asking for past tax. So they stopped. So I don't know how it worked, because now they are not working. Less work for me.
Very difficult, because for all of us, even though we are working at a much slower pace than before, but there is a little bit of work which is flowing in for all of us. But there is this considerable number of lawyers who are not able to attend virtual hearings, so they are pushing for physical hearings to take place.
Yeah, the lawyer in Italy and the professional in general was not very well treated, because In the first phase, everybody that lost the work, they receive 600 euro, 500 euro is half of the normal payroll. And the first journalists, lawyers, in the first writing of the law, they didn't have access to the money. Then they decide to give them the same amount, 600. But of course, it was not enough because an employee have not expenses. A lawyer, by instance, have to pay the rent of his office. So it was crazy, but in that situation, the state didn't want to be seen like somebody that was helping the rich, let's say, what are perceived like the richer. But in fact, those persons that are creating work for others, they must be the hero of the nation, the entrepreneur, lawyer, because they create work that didn't exist before. When there is a problem, they was not helped by the state. There is a lot of anger in the system because it's unfair. But people see always the employee like the slave, the one that benefit from the work of somebody else, not understanding that he is able to coordinate many skills, many things together in a system that is an enterprise or an office. So his skill put together many skills and create more work that a single person was able to do alone. Well, okay, but the state didn't thank the category. On the contrary.
So, Pallavi, any more questions?
Yes, Dario, I have a last question. What is your
last question?
No, my question is very simple. What is your advice to all of us who are still, at least in India, it seems it's going to plateau hopefully in another couple of weeks. So we might then see that, after the peak, the fall might start happening. But in terms of, for lawyers, for entrepreneurs, what is it that you would want to say in terms of, how to deal with COVID pandemic just now?
Okay. In Italy, I don't know how it works in India. In Italy, what I'm doing, so what I would feel like to suggest to colleagues is, to specialize in what is demanded now. What is demanded now is to check the paperwork of the clients to see if they are entitled to have state aid. Okay, now I'm focusing on that. The problem is, there are two problems. The people that come to you to ask for money, they have no money. So probably you work for free, at least in the beginning. Okay, that is the first things. To study the legislation to us was huge, enormous body of legislation to understand, interpret, and put your client in condition to benefit from some aid. Now I'm focusing on that. Then my assistance to my client is also business oriented because I do the accounting to many entrepreneurs, and what I help them is to brainstorm with them. That is my selling point with them. I am one of them as well. Every industry has its peculiarities, and if you brainstorm together with them, you can find a way that they can convert or respond to a demand that a new situation created. But that is a one-on-one situation. You have to do brain work together. And if you are successful, more people will come. And then to resist.
Right, to resist also. I think that is a very good...
and go with a good optimism.
Very good. Yeah, that's true.
So thank you so much, Dario, for taking out
Thank
time
to you.
us. It's such a pleasure indeed to have you here. And your and Prachi's friendship actually goes back to many years, and it
was kid.
So nice to actually finally.
But thank you so much, and thank you for sharing your optimism, most importantly.
Always.
Always.
Thank you for having me here. It was very funny.
Thank you so much. And
interesting.
Thank you.